beauties, welcome or welcome back. So jumping right into it, I'm going to start off by priming my skin. My first primer of choice to start is the Olay Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. When I was in school, I always made it a point to look my best on that very first day of classes. So this primer will definitely help contribute to that by giving my skin that brightness and hydration that it needs. I will also be using the e.l.f. putty primer as well in my T-zone just to make certain my pores are as blurred as I can possibly get them. For foundation, I have chosen to use the NARS Sheer Glow in the shade Tahoe, which, by the way, all the products and shades will be in the description box for your convenience. But I did choose this foundation even though I enjoy my full coverage glam now as an adult, but I feel like light to medium coverage is best for those in school, but as always you can do what you want. I'm using the Sony large buffing brush just to buff this product into my skin and really focus on evening out my skin tone. I'm also trying not to put too much product on my forehead because that seems to be the darkest part of my face, so I really don't need as much up there. Still using NARS products, I'm now taking their Creamy Radiant Concealer, which I've been loving, just to add extra coverage under my eyes for the most part, but of course I'm going to be applying it in all the normal places I like to conceal. The applicator doesn't hold a lot of product, so you do have to constantly dip back into it. That really doesn't bother me much. Due to the shade I selected, this concealer isn't super brightening, but that works to my advantage for this look. It does provide, however, medium to full buildable coverage, so you can apply as much or as little as you desire. I do prefer to blend this out with a beauty blender specifically. If you guys seen my all matte look, which I will have it in the cards above for you guys, but if you guys seen that video, you guys know when I created that look, I had trouble blending it out that day with a different sponge, so I just like to stick with what I know works. I haven't tried a brush yet, but maybe in the future I will. So I'm also going to use this concealer for my eyeshadow primer. I feel like less product is better, especially when you're waking up super early in the morning. Less product to grab, and you're already using concealer on your face more than likely, so you might as well just use that to prime your lids for your eyeshadow. It pretty much works the same whether you're using primer or concealer, but I just prefer to use concealer. When it comes to the lips, there are so many different options. However, I have always loved a glossy lip, so for me, I find there is nothing better than using the Leniege Lip Sleeping Mask. Not only does it make your lips look glossy, but it also provides lots of moisture and it keeps your lips super soft. Now to set this base down, I'm going to use the Becca hydra-mist and refresh powder. I've been so addicted to using this. If you guys see my BoxyCharm video, you guys know that I fell in love with this powder. It's kind of like the Wet n Wild powder for me. The way that it sets my makeup down and the appearance of my skin just looks so flawless. I don't find it to be uncomfortable at all. Whatever you choose to use, just make sure you're setting your makeup so that it will last you all day. You don't want to be that person to not set and then end up looking crazy by the end of the day. I find no reason to bake or use a separate powder for the rest of my face, so again, we can just mark this as another product that serves multiple purposes, and I definitely love it for my eyelids. The cooling sensation that this powder gives on your skin is just amazing, and just like I said in the BoxyCharm video, it basically feels like a setting spray inside of a powder. Skipping over contour, I'm taking my butter bronzer from Physicians Formula and applying that in my usual areas. Honestly, looking back, I probably would have chosen a different bronzer to use. I mean, I do like the formula of this, but I'm not sure I'm crazy about the shade. Nonetheless, I'm using this to bronze my skin up a bit, and I'm going to not so perfectly use this as well to sculpt out my nose. If you own any of the bronzers from this line, let me know down below in the comments what shade you have and if you like it or not. For the eyes, I decided to use the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. Now unfortunately, these palettes don't have shade names, so it's a bit difficult to tell you what shade I'm using. But if you have the palette or you plan to purchase it to recreate this look, maybe try pausing the video and then maybe that can give you an exact reference as to the shade I'm using. I really do apologize for that, you guys. I honestly didn't even think about that before choosing to go with this palette. All the shades in here are cool tone and I'm definitely here for it. The goal with this look was to create something easy and wearable for school that wouldn't take too much time because, you know, I was definitely one to like rush in the morning. So definitely make sure you're setting out a reasonable amount of time if you plan to do your makeup. What I did with this look is basically the equivalent of adding bronzer into the crease with a darker brown shade on the outer edge. So just 2 shadows, and that's really all it takes. Since I plan on not wearing false lashes, I want to use a mascara I know will give my eyes the volume that they need. So I chose to use the Tarte Big Ego Mascara. If you're in the market for a new mascara that performs well but is also plant-based instead of chemical-based, I highly suggest this one. This has definitely become my new favorite mascara to use and wear, especially when I'm not wearing any falsies. For blush, I am just using the Milani Flowered Pan Blush. I really do love this shade of pink on my cheeks. It's not super intense, but shows up just enough to give a nice flush of color, and I really love that. We're just about at the end, you guys. So the Ofra Trio Highlight has definitely been my favorite lately, so I'm using a generous amount of that for glow. If you're one who doesn't like a lot of highlight, I would suggest using one that's not as pigmented and intense as this one, or you can just opt for none at all, but you guys know I love my glow and highlight. Of course, we want to finish strong with the setting spray, and I am of course using the Urban Decay De-Slick All-Nighter. You guys should know my obsession with this. It locks in your makeup so it won't budge or move, and after all, we don't want all this hard work to go to waste. So this is the final and completed look. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did. Make sure you subscribe to join the family if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys on Wednesday with a brand new upload.